Hi, I'm Nikita.
And I'm Jabri, and you're listening to Be Do Have, a podcast about our personal journey that led us to create who we want to be, do things from that place of being to have what we want and need.
Thank you for joining us as we explore several different love and fear based concepts and the experiences we draw to ourselves because of those powerful energies. So, hello, everyone. This week we will be discussing a really, really good, great book called Women Who Run with the Wolves. And we have a special guest, Brittany. And she actually recommended this book during the Good Vibes retreat that her and I went on earlier this year. And this book was amazing. It was so impactful and so powerful that we just decided to discuss it here on the podcast. But before we jump into all of that. Just want to start with, any highlights from our week. So, me personally, I have shit going on this week. I was pretty much um, like, full transparency. This may be TMI, but, I was premenstrual. So, I really didn't feel like being bothered with anything. I was very irritable and just, I don't know, just kind of wanted to be. And it's really interesting that I was feeling all these emotions and um, just kind of like not kind of like myself. And it's really interesting because Dr. Estes actually touches on that a little bit in this book that we'll be talking about. And it's just pretty much just allowing yourself to be during that time and how, it's really important to know yourself because during this time when you are going through your cycle, we change. And it's really important that we know and can identify that change and that our partners can understand and identify and respect that change as well. So that's pretty much how my week was, just really getting to know myself during that time and really embracing it and being able to be in my emotions and feel all of the different changes that goes on, inside of me during that time. So just kind of let myself be and was just chilling pretty much. That was really pretty much the highlight of my week. What about you, Jabri?
So last week was pretty chill for me too. I went to work Monday and Tuesday, worked from the house on Wednesday, and was off Thursday and Friday. Um, but yeah, no real epiphanies because last week I was really focusing on just like absolutely nothing. I wasn't focusing
Hey.
on going inward. I wasn't focusing on nothing, and it actually felt amazing.
Hey, it be like that
It
sometimes.
really
Like
do.
I feel like that was the vibe for me last week too. And I don't know if it's like something in the air. I know a lot of people are talking about this new moon, and how we going into like retrograde and
That happened Friday.
and I feel like I was feeling all of that shit. And I don't even know if that was the cause of it, but I'm gonna blame it on that shit since everybody is like,
I
talking about
mean, Friday the 13th was Friday, and like I didn't even know until I went somewhere and
yeah,
somebody
it's
was like,
Friday.
"Yeah, it's Friday 13th." I was like, "Okay, whatever." Um, but I don't know. I just yeah, last week it literally like Monday came and then I blinked my eyes and Friday was here. Like,
So, what does Friday the 13th mean to you?
who me?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. I mean, some people say it means bad luck. Some people are like it's the start of, something new and something good. I don't know. I mean, I didn't even look at like the numerology or whatever behind it this 513 because I just was like it is what it is. I know it's about to be hot on the weekend. So let me prepare for this heat and yeah, that's it. I didn't really do too much of anything. And then I think too, because we're approaching like the end of the year, end of the school year, and it's graduation season, like, I don't know, I'm like to the point to where I'm just like, I'm done. Like I'm ready for Memorial Day. I'm ready for school to be out. Like people start taking off work. Thank you. Like so I can drive to work in peace and like yeah, that's what I'm ready for. So that's what I was on. How about you, Miss Brittany?
This week, last week was very chaotic. I had my son's birthday party yesterday, but the whole week was just me preparing for that, and a ton of people were off at work, so I had to fill in their places. It was just like I slept all day today because I needed it. Literally, I didn't wake up until 2 p.m. That's how exhausted I was. So I was definitely feeling all of the, energy from the full moon. I'm also on my period today. So I'm like, can I get a break? But I guess this is my break, right? Like to reset and rebalance and reorganize. So that's what I'm using the rest of the night for.
Yo, Brittany, I think maybe I was channeling your energy today because I was tired as fuck. And I don't know if you were too, Jabri, but
Oh
like
yeah, I
all day,
was.
I'm just like, I'm over this day. I
Exhausted.
mean, it is Monday too, granted, but
Mm.
man, I think I logged off early too at like 2:30.
Mm-mm. No, I actually stayed like a little bit late, but yeah, about like noon, I was just like, yeah, I'll tap
Mm-hmm.
out.
I'm right there with you. All right, so we can jump right into the topic. So, Women Who Run with the Wolves was written by Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, and it describes different wild woman archetypes. And when the author says wild women, she's referring to the natural tendencies of the woman. Wild meaning being connected to one's instincts and connected to one's deepest soul. The different wild women archetypes Dr. Estes speaks about are women who were told that they were wrong for being and doing what they felt was natural to them. Women who were told that they should not act or be those instinctive characteristics, and not just sexual or sensual characteristics, but any characteristics that do not fall into categories that society has accepted as being what a female should be, act, or do. She describes a huge portion of wild women as being trained to remain tamed, for us to leave out the instinctual and animal nature of a woman that is very similar to the wolf, and essentially be sweet, cute, soft, and innocent. So this book was brought to my attention by Brittany during the Good Vibes retreat, as I mentioned earlier. And I think she referred to this book as being her Bible. And Brittany, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
You said absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right. So when you said that, I was like, yo, I like instantly tuned in because we were on the bus. And she was like way in the front. I was like in the front too. I was like maybe a couple rows behind her. And she was talking about it. And when she was talking about a couple of different books. And I read that other book that you recommended too. But she was like, yeah, that book is my Bible. And I like my ears were like stood up like antennas. I was like, okay. Let me get that book. I ordered it as soon as I came home. I recommended it to Jabri. She read it. I like sent a copy to my mom because it was just powerful. So my first question to you would be, what led you to this book, and how did it, transform your life, or, just kind of give you some enlightenment.
So it's so funny because I feel like, in a way, Good Moms, Bad Choices led me to this book without actually recommending it. So when I first started listening to it, I was at a point in time where I knew that like my inner being wanted to be set free. And as I was going through that journey, listening to the podcast, that summer, a friend of mine actually said, I think that you would like this book. And it was the Woman Who Run with the Wolves. And I literally read it, skipped through it, hopped through it, opened it up at any page just to see where it would lead me. And it opened me up to so much more than I could have ever expected, honestly. I would say it's like my top two pieces of literature that I've ever read. It opened my eyes to ideas that I had never even thought of. So yeah, that's what led me to it. It's easy to get a book, but it's one thing to read something, so because it's not an easy read at all.
No, it's not. Especially when
Like,
you open it up. I'm like, what the
yeah,
heck is this?
exactly.
So I don't have the physical copy, but
Uh-huh.
listening to it that first time, I was like,
You
"Cut
got it.
out all these fairy tales and shit. Let's get to the moral. Where's the fucking subject and the damn predicate, lady?" But
Right.
then, yeah, I listened to it and I was like, "Okay, I get it. It pretty much is structured like the Bible. It is. It's very fably So you can
Yeah,
kind of get lost.
like a textbook almost. So it's one thing to get a recommendation to read the book and to hear about Wild Women from other people, but to actually be dedicated to reading the book, it took a lot out of me, but I realized that it was absolutely important to do it and to treat it like literature, to treat it like a textbook and study it.
I agree. So it's 2 points that I want to kind of ask you that you just kind of touched on. So like the first one is you were saying that you were at a place in your life when you were wanting to be set free. Like, can you kind of like expound on that just a little bit?
Yeah, of course. I had just left maybe a year ago, my son's father. From there, I was teaching. I was very unhappy teaching. I was deciding whether or not I wanted to continue teaching. I got into a relationship that was abusive, and I was on my way to Jamaica. So I needed something when I got back from Jamaica. I just felt like, it's like, you know what? That some change has to happen. Um, all of that ripples, the ripples effect, you know what I mean? You just need something different. And you could do like, I was taking shrooms and stuff like that, but if you don't have the guidance when you're taking shrooms or psychedelics, it's kind of, I'm not going to say pointless, but it won't push you as far as you can go, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, it does. Um, And just when you opened the book, was it, because I know for me, like when I opened it and I started reading, some of the stories and the archetypes that she was describing, like it was crazy how much I identified. And even like reading it, like I was thinking about Jabri when she was talking about the Vasilisa doll. And I'm like, oh my God, like Jabri needs to hear this because she's always talking about her intuition and being close and connected with her intuition. But it was just like really crazy and I think wild, how much I identify with those architects that she was talking about. And then two, it gave me permission to be like
Mm,
to be you know, just going against the grain and what I've been taught a woman should act, be, and do.
absolutely.
And yeah, and it just kind of like, kind of put me on this journey to explore different aspects of myself, primarily just different sexual aspects and sensual aspects of myself, because those kind of aspects of myself have been closed off and I don't really know, who those women are inside of me. And then also, like I was saying, being on my, premenstrual, and also giving me permission to kind of not fucking feel like being bothered, and that's okay too.
And that's okay.
Not making me feel like I have to always be on and always be ready to go and like this, really excited, giddy person all the time. Like it gives me permission to, like, if I want to fucking be a bitch and I don't want to fucking talk to them, like I don't feel guilty and feel like I have to apologize for it and make up for it. So it definitely identified with me in those ways. Jabri, how about you?
Somewhat the same type of way. I guess maybe not so much giving me permission to just be, but it did provide me a little more um understanding when it comes to just how we as women, right? And I'm not even going to like throw a color to it. Just women as a species,
Mm,
like how it has benefited the whole world to like keep us muted,
Mm,
and the crazy thing is it's not even just like just benefiting the whole world. It's more so like the things that we've lost, because our female counterparts and also our male counterparts don't understand like how important it is to actually be in connection with that wild side, with that intuition, with other, like I wouldn't even necessarily say like-minded women, but women that embrace each other and pour into one another. So that's kind of the thing that like kind of stood out to me, like when she was speaking of the three women, when they would just kind of be with each other, like they would be on their cycle and they would be with each other and go off into the forest, and then they would come back, the three taller women.
Yeah.
She,
I remember.
yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
she was talking about those three ladies, and I was like, it's definitely a symbolism in three, right? Because there is power in three. She didn't really even go into that, but